My mother had a Phi Excellence chart done for me to see what was the ideal weight and muscle tone aesthetically for my frame, and I take 6 monthly capsules so I stay at this weight and tone, which means I'm a little plump, as apparently my frame is Venus Media, which is essentially voluptuous. My mother also had a colorescence chart made up to see what hair colour would be best for my skin and eyes. So I have a sort of pale bronze colour done by molecular restructuring once a month. I can't remember what my hair was originally, but I think it was a kind of brown. My eyes are green, but not as green as my mother's. My mother's name, by the way, is Demeter. Mine's Jane. But normally I call her Mother, and she calls me Dear or Darling. My mother says the art of verbal affection is dying out. She has a lot of opinions, which is restful, as that way I don't have to have many of my own. However, this makes everything much more difficult now. I've written bits of things down before, or embarrassing poetry. But how to do this? Perhaps it's idiotic to try. No, I have to, I think. I suppose I should begin at the beginning, or just before the beginning. I have always fallen in love very easily, but usually with characters in visuals or books, or with actors in drama. I have 6 friends of roughly my own age. 6 is a balanced number, according to the statistics, and 3 of these have fathers as well as mothers. Clovis, who has a father, said I fall in love easily, but only with unreal men, because I didn't have a father. I pointed out that the actors I fell in love with were real. "That's a matter for debate," said Clovis. "But let me explain. What you fall for is the invention they're playing. If you met them, you'd detest them." One morning, to prove his theory, Clovis introduced me to an actor I'd seen in a drama and fallen in love with the previous night. But I was so shy, I couldn't look at the actor. And then I found out he and Clovis were lovers, and I was heartbroken, and stopped being shy, and scowled, and Clovis said, "I told you so," which was hardly fair. Secretly, I used to wish I were Clovis and not me. Clovis is tall and slim, with dark curly hair, and being MB doesn't have to take contraception shots, so tells everyone else who does they're dangerous. I don't really like my other 5 friends. Davidede is at the equator right now, studying silting, which may indicate the sort of thing about him that I have no rapport with. Egyptia is very demanding, and takes over everything, though she's lovely to look at. She's highly emotional, and sometimes she embarrasses me. Chloe is nice, but not very exciting. Jason and Medea, who are brother and sister, and have a father too, are untrustworthy. Once, they were in the house and they stole something, a little blue rock that came from the asteroid. They pretended they hadn't, but I knew they had. When my mother asked where the blue rock was, I felt I had to tell her what I thought, but she said I should have pretended I had broken the rock so as not to implicate Jason and Medea, who were my friends. Loyalty. I see it was rather unsubtle of me to betray them, but I didn't know any better. Being unsubtle is one of my worst faults. I have a lot. Anyway, I'll start when Egyptia called me on the video, and she cried and cried. Egyptia is unhappy because she knows she has greatness in her, and so far she can't find out what to do with it. She's just over 18, and she gets terribly afraid that life is moving too fast for her. Though most people live to be 150 or more, Egyptia